Alright guys, I know I'm probably going to get some hate for this video. I don't care. This needs to come from a Titan main, so you can't point to someone and say, oh, you're a hunter, so that's the only reason you don't like Antaeus Wards. Oh, you're a warlock. Now, boys, I'm a Titan main. I've been using Antaeus Wards pretty much since they got put into the game back in Forsaken, and this recent change that they made to the exotic has pushed it past being good, unique, and cool to just straight up brainless and broken. And let me tell you why. So basically, they made the change. Siding with the shield no longer takes any chip damage, right? Any chip damage. Now in the footage you're seeing, I'm siding into a fucking Nova Bomb and taking 0 damage. 0. Nothing. Zilch. This slide is on basically a 2-second cooldown. You slide once, you slide again. Your third slide, you'll have the shield back. So every second slide, you have the shield. And not only does the shield block everything, and I mean literally everything, without taking any damage, it also covers the entire 360 radius of the player, which people don't realize. You see the shield in the front, so you assume you can damage them from behind, but that's not how it works. And it has never worked like that. The shield has always given you 360 protection. However, the difference before was you would take a little bit of damage depending on what it was you were being shot at, and therefore you couldn't just always slide and know I'm not going to take any damage, I can tank anything. And for me, they've kind of ruined the exotic. And I actually spoke to someone called Mudkip. I don't know if you guys know Mudkip, but he is also a really big fan of the Antaeus Wards. He's been using for a long time. And I think he feels very similar to I, in the sense that he's kind of sad now because he obviously mastered the use of Antaeus Wards correctly. And now they've got this crazy buff. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry is now siding around with Antaeus Wards in trials, winning shotgun fights. They have absolutely no business winning because they're actually not that good. The exotic's doing all of the work for them. Like I said, it completely covers you. It's a 360 radius. You're invulnerable to all damage. Someone could shoot a golden gun at you in the back whilst you're siding at someone else and you won't damage them. It's just a little bit too much, man. Now, I get it. People are going to be really pissed that I'm saying this because I'm a Titan main, and obviously hunters are dominant in the Crucible. Warlocks with top 3 Dawnblade are incredibly powerful. All of the utility in top 3 Dawnblade, really, really crazy. Titans had Twilight Garrison. It now belongs to Warlocks for free on top 3. I'm not saying that Titans don't need some love. They do. My point in this video is this is not the kind of love that we need. Okay? When you look at Hunters and you look at Warlocks and you take their base abilities, the utility they provide in their base classes is just so much more than anything a Titan can offer. Yeah, sure, we have the barricade now. My Titan class Sentinel has a suppressor grenade, which is incredibly clutch if you know how to use it. But besides that, and I would say bottom 3 striker with Juggernaut, with Frontal Assault and Knockout, that's a really great synergistic combination that is genuinely powerful in PvP. Now, my boy Astacross loves Hammer Titan, but I'm sorry, I don't see any reason why anyone would want to run any hammer tree in the game right now. Like, for what? What do you get out of it? You have middle tree with the throwing hammer, right? It's a big giant hammer, but it has a smaller hitbox, and it does not kill in one hit compared to Hunter's throwing knife. Hunter's throwing knife can bounce off a wall, hit you in the ear, and you're dead. You can throw a Titan hammer, a big giant flaming hammer in someone's mouth, and they'll eat it. In order to get one hit kills with that, you need to get a kill first and start chaining your buffs. So again, you can see right there, direct comparison. Hunter to Titan, Hunter wins. That's why when you load up a game of Crucible, there's 4 or 5 Hunters on every fucking team. It's because they have the best utility. The dodge offers you the most benefits. The movement is the best, aside from Warlock skating, obviously with top 3 Dawnblade. Obviously, when you look at top 3 Dawnblade, they have a ranged melee that can go straight through the Titan barricade and damage you. They have a grenade that allows you to float up in the air out of bounds. You can Warlock skate, double dodge for free with no exotic needed. And meanwhile, you look at Titans, what have we got? They give us Antaeus Wards. It's like basically what they're trying to do with Titans is to kind of compensate for how poor our base utility and abilities are. They give us dumb exotics. And I think it's a really shit way to balance Titans. We don't need stupid exotics with overblown abilities like currently the Wards currently have. There is absolutely no risk or downside to running Antaeus Wards. I said this at the beginning of this season. I think my first video of the season was telling you guys Antaeus Wards are about to be the meta. At the time, in the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, this is overpowered. but maybe it'll be overlooked because people will still want to run Hunter and Warlock over Titan. However, this weekend on Cauldron, it's a pretty shotgun favorable map. On Anomaly as well, very shotgun favorable map. You can really start to see how obnoxious Antaeus Wards truly are. And I just think it's a poor effort on Bungie's part in terms of how they've balanced the class. Because Titans don't have great movement, because Titans don't have great utility, they're like, all right, fuck it, let's just make Antaeus Wards absolutely ridiculous and hope that that's enough. Same thing with One-Eyed Mask in previous, obviously the original iteration of One-Eyed Mask was insane. And I feel like to this day, I said it at the time and I still believe now, they gave us One-Eyed Mask to try and lift Titans up to compete with Hunters and Warlocks. Again, I think that's just a poor choice. Why not revamp Titan classes the same way you've done with Warlock classes? Why not revamp Titan movement so that it's more competitive without the need of any exotics to kind of close the gap to the other classes? I don't understand the reluctance on Bungie's part to just introduce better Titan movement. If you introduce better Titan movement, you can then take better advantages of the abilities that the classes have. Most of the Titan classes, the abilities are based around melees. If we moved faster and we could close the gap quicker, we could then take advantage of those melee abilities. Right now, that's literally all Titans have, is go and punch someone. There's nothing else going on. There's nothing interesting happening. We need more utility. We need some sort of dodge or some sort of movement ability. We need faster movement so we can keep up with the other classes. If you work on, introducing these things into the game, then when you look at Antaeus Wards, you don't need to do what you've done with them, where basically they just make you invulnerable, and you kind of look at it as a way like, all right, Titans can compete now because of this exotic. The true strength of a class is mainly without exotics. If you take a Hunter without exotics, you take a Titan without exotics, you take a Warlock without exotics, what does the Titan have in terms of its toolkit compared to the other classes? Not a whole lot. We have the big ass wall, granted very powerful now in Trials, but Trials has only just come back. So we can't just look at the wall and say, oh, you've got the wall. Okay, great. The wall is really nice. Now, what else do we have? 3 trees on either a Hammer, Striker, or Sentinel class have a Shoulder Charge. Shoulder Charge is a terrible ability, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys. I think most people run shotguns in PvP. Trying to Shoulder Charge someone with a shotgun out, well, you might as well just shotgun yourself at that point, right? Because what's the point? Shoulder Charge is terrible. In Destiny 1, Shoulder Charge was used in conjunction with Titan Skating to boost your momentum and go faster. That doesn't exist in this game, and Shoulder Charge doesn't really give you much in terms of a mobility boost, in my opinion. Not really worth it. Now, what else have we got? That's basically it. We have Shoulder Charges and walls. Meanwhile, Bottom Tree Arc Strider can take less damage when it dodges. Its abilities cool down faster when they're running around. The melee disorients you. Top Tree Warlock can dodge. Bottom Tree Warlock can regen its health on the fly with the Phoenix Dive. You've got Voidwalker with Handel Supernova. You've even got Devour where they can regen their health. I'm not saying that those Warlock classes are amazing, but they're interesting. They have unique abilities. Titans don't really seem to have that. Everything about Titans is based on the exotic armor. And my message basically is, Antaeus Wards are dumb. They shouldn't be this dumb. Titans' base abilities need to be buffed. And then say if you do buff Titan movement so that Titans go fast, then you look at something like June Marchers, which can chain melees to people 20 meters away, and you tone that down because it's needless. We don't need that kind of stupidity. We need decent balancing for all 3 classes. So even though this video is talking about Antaeus Wards and how they are kind of overpowered, and that's just really, that's being kind. Guys, you can slide and block anything. Anything can be blocked. And you take 0 damage. It shouldn't work like that, guys. Things need to be more subtle. Things need to have a bit more of a skill gap. Things require mastery. The timing of your slide, when to slide, when not to slide. Knowing, managing your health before you slide. Because really, you should take a little bit of damage when you block stuff. Kind of like how it was before, in my opinion. That's how an exotic should be. Now, even with One-Eyed Mask now, I still get hate for using One-Eyed Mask. But now, if I win my 1v1, I get an overshield for 5 seconds, which is basically specifically designed for taking out multiple opponents at once. And even if you can say, oh, you only did it with the overshield, it's still not easy to get 1 kill, get 2 kill, get 3 kill in 5 seconds. There's a skill gap there, and only players who can take advantage of that will make use of a One-Eyed Mask now. That's great. I think they did a good job with One-Eyed. compared to how it was before. Antaeus Wards probably need something similar to them. June marches as well. Why are you giving us a 20-meter discharge of the perk on the boots? Why? This is just overcompensating for how poor Titans are as far as base abilities and utility goes. That's my opinion. And I just wanted to get that out there because maybe one day Bungie will look at Titans and say, all right, let's look at Titans from the ground up. Let's rework their movement. Let's add in a movement option for them. Let's change things up. Because as it stands, the only way Titans ever become relevant is through a busted exotic. And that is simply not the case for Hunters and Warlocks. So that's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me talk about this. I know it's a controversial opinion, talking about something needing a nerf, but I think the overall subject of the video wasn't just Antaeus Wards needs a nerf, it's also looking at the broader, subject of class balance. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.